We are live in Studio B. This is your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. I'm Spencer Linton alongside Jerem Jordan. It is our distinct pleasure to welcome in one of our longtime friends and colleagues. He is the dual-threat analyst at BYU. We're talking football now with national champion quarterback Blaine Fowler. Blaine, it's always nice to have you in studio.
It's nice.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I love being in here with you guys.
There are all these Zoom situations.
I'm tired. Zoom, I'm done with it.
You done?
I'm just done with Zoom. I'm done with it. That's behind me. Zoom is behind me.
Graduated.
And I'm not looking back.
Very good.
You're looking forward at the screen.
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
We're looking forward.
Exactly.
We're looking each other in the eye.
Yeah.
Okay, we were just talking about BYU, Baylor this Saturday, and what's on the line. Obviously, BYU feels like they still have a lot to play for, not just the Independence Bowl. They want to go undefeated against 7 Power Fives. We think if they do that and win out, that they will absolutely be in the New Year's Six conversation. But if they lose, heaven forbid, is calling this a special season in jeopardy at that point?
I don't think that the special season tag is dependent on just the Baylor game this week. I think the special season, to me, my watermark for a special season is double-digit wins. So, and double-digit wins when you have 7 P5s on the schedule, even if you end up at the end of the season 10-3, if you include a bowl game, if you have double-digit wins and you look at this schedule, to me, that's a special season. So to me, it doesn't ride on one game. But what does ride on this is you got to see how resilient this team is, because if they don't win this week, then it's harder to pick back up the following week. And I realize it's Washington State, who's not great, but they've got players, right?
They're better.
They've got
they just
talent.
beat Oregon State.
Right, they've got talent. Oregon State's been really, really good. That's a team that can beat you. And then Virginia's right on the heels of that. So
you're if misses a field goal, Virginia's got a good shot.
Right. So that exactly. So it's a gauntlet of 3 P5s in a row. All of those teams are talented, and the worry for me is that if they don't go out and play well at Baylor and get a win, then all of a sudden the psyche of the team starts to be a little bit in question, and you've got to really do some work to get inside the minds of these guys and be okay with it. So momentum is important this week. And as a player, they say, hey, just one game at a time. But you do look at national rankings, and people say you don't have anything to play for. I don't care if you're in the Pac-12, the Big 12, whatever it is. If you're in conference play and you're not ranked, the game doesn't mean as much. The games mean more when you're ranked. And if you're independent and you're ranked, it's an important game every week. So the fact that BYU has enough respect with the schedule they've played to still be ranked after a loss to an unranked team is a big deal in my mind.
Granted, that unranked team was Boise State. They have a ton of respect.
Right.
Even at 2-2.
When they're not ranked, everybody goes, hey, Boise State, they're a good program. They had a good opportunity to beat Oklahoma State, who's ranked, and so they look at it and go, that's a quality program. That's not as bad a loss as others could have been on this schedule.
Like USF would have been horrendous.
Would have been
Utah
bad.
State
Right.
would have been bad.
Yeah. Boise State doesn't have as big an impact on you when you lose to them, right? So now people have their eyes open around the country going, okay, let's see. They turned the ball over 4 times. They didn't convert on 4th down. Is this the aberration? And Hall was just coming back. Is this just an aberration game for them? Because when you're playing this kind of schedule, you get forgiven for a loss, right? You don't have to run the table to be a top 10 team with this schedule. So this game brings on extra importance, and you can bet that the guys are going nationally ranked, gotta win this week to keep the national ranking and to start moving back up again. If the sight is get back into the top 10, which I think every one of these players that have any pride at all are going, when you're not in a league, the goal is to finish in the top 10. That's what it's got to be. Hey, when we were in a league when I played, that was the goal. Got to finish in the top 10. That's where we need to be, and we would watch it every week. And with this schedule, if they go beat Baylor on the road and then beat Washington State on the road, they come back into the Virginia game at home where they're probably 12 or 13 again, right?
A bunch of swagger to boot.
Right, and confident, and they beat Virginia. Now you've got 6 P5 wins under your belt, and you're peaking at the top 10 again, and then you've got a run of games where you can really get some momentum going and maybe dominate down the stretch before you play USC. And from what we've seen from USC, that's a shambles right now.
Yeah, Utah just went in there and dominated Saturday.
It's not out of the question that you win out here, right? Not out of the question. Certainly there's teams that are good enough to beat you if you play the way you played last week. But it starts with Baylor, right? It's a team that if BYU plays clean and plays well, they can beat on the road and start the whole momentum and start to march up the rankings again. It's a really important game. It's not do or die. Like, can they finish ranked? not in the top 10 if they don't win this, I don't think.
Right, yeah.
Can they finish ranked with 2 losses if they lose this one? And absolutely they
Probably
can.
with 3.
Absolutely they can.
Yeah, and to me, my sort of standard would be lower than yours there, top 10. It's like top 10, that's what? Top 25. If BYU finishes top 25 this season, that's awesome.
Back-to-back seasons ranked after going 12 years without finishing ranked at all.
That'd be amazing. This game intimidates me quite a bit. I think we've talked about this is the toughest game left on the schedule, it looks like. The speed of Baylor, haven't thrown an interception. The familiarity of Jeff Grimes. Granted, BYU could use that too, right, to their advantage. This is a big one. BYU's really got to show up. And all the Big 12 homies are going to be going, what's BYU all about? Now they're actually playing in Big 12.
This is a league game, right? This is a league game this week against
the first
Baylor.
Big 12 game.
This is their first league game in the new league. And so you want to go out and make a statement? It's important.
An exhibition Big 12 conference game.
Absolutely is, and it's big. And I'm with you, Jeremiah. It's hard. I've been watching Baylor all year knowing that they were on the schedule. And there's times when I watch, like 2 weeks ago, I'm watching them going, man, they're just.
Against Oklahoma State?
Yeah, they're just not. Oklahoma State's just shutting them down. They can't do anything. So is Oklahoma State that good? Then last week I watched them and go, whoa, what just happened?
Roll West Virginia.
Did the light bulb just go on, or is West Virginia that bad defensively? And I don't know. I don't know the answer to that because
we know Oklahoma State's good though.
Right. Oklahoma
they beat
State's
Boise State on the blue. Granted, Boise State should have won that game. There was a fumble. They blew a whistle. The blocked field goal. And then but Baylor's good too. 5-1. Only losses to a top 15 team.
Right. No. Hey, Baylor is a very good football team, and when I say I just don't know how bad West Virginia's defense is. That's what I'm saying. This Baylor offense, it's a Jeff Grimes offense. When I watch it, I go, they're balanced. It's not the Baylor we've seen for the last several years where it's an air raid offense and they're going 4 wides and they're throwing it all over the place. And when we look at the matchups, 38 points a game is impressive for Baylor offensively. Very good football team. But I think BYU understands what Baylor wants to do. I think they match up fine against that style of offense. Baylor's, they're multiple defensively. They show you multiple fronts. They blitz. They're balanced defensively. So this is a team that has a lot of talent. They don't do anything crazy that you have to prepare for because they're pretty basic with what they do. They just execute really well. I think BYU matches up fine defensively against Baylor's offense. They understand what Jeff Grimes wants to do. And the key is going to be you got to be able to stop him from running the football, which they didn't do a great job with at Boise State this last week. Right. And so that has to get fixed. They've got to be gap sound. They have to do a better job. It'd be good to get Lorenzo healthy and playing on that defensive line. And to me, that's where it all starts. Can they control the run game, force Baylor to be a little bit one-dimensional and throw the ball more? I think that plays to BYU's favor. But this is an important game, and Baylor is a very good football team.
6 yards to carry, 5th in the country.
Wow.
They're running the ball really well.
That's what I'm saying.
First 3 games were easy for them. Last 3 have been more challenging.
Big task for the BYU defensive line. Let's talk about the quarterbacks for a moment. This is a double-barreled question. First part of it is, how did you rate Jaren Hall's performance on Saturday? And after that, what do you expect from Jaren Hall if he is indeed again the starter against Baylor?
Well, I expect him to take a step forward from what he did this last week. And when I watched Jaren, he was fine. Jaren didn't lose or win that game. If they won, it wasn't going to be because Jaren won the game, and if they lost, it wasn't because of anything Jaren did. He was fine. The receivers were phenomenal in this football game. Okay, they were ridiculous in this game, helping him out. Remember, he took just a small portion of the reps early in the week. By the end of the week, he was only getting maybe half the reps. So this wasn't a Jaren Hall that had the typical number of reps coming in. He's coming off of an injury. And so did I think he looked as sharp as he did in the 3 P5 games that he played in? No, I thought he was just a little slower to get the ball out. BYU, I think, by play calling, and maybe in his own mind, we're a little hesitant to go, let's get him big time involved in the run game, right?
He only rushed twice.
Yeah, how many run plays did we see called for the quarterback? Did we see a quarterback draw? Did we see an RPO where he kept the ball? And we saw him only run the ball twice, and then it was the thing that makes him so special, there's a lot of guys in the country that can do what he can do, just stand in the pocket throwing the ball around. Lots of guys just like him, right? There are very few. You can count them on one hand that can punish a defense with their feet the way he can. So that's what makes him special, his ability to involve him in the run game, to have him move around back there, to find a seam where you defensively have to go, okay, when this guy's on top of his game, we got to have a linebacker that's spying him. We got to make sure our backers don't get too far in their drops. If we play a bunch of man under where the guys turn their heads and he sees the back of their heads, he's going to take off and punish us. So BYU didn't have that in the offense last week. That's a huge difference maker. And so what do I expect? I expect him to be a week healthier. I expect him to get, if he's going to be the guy this week, if he's healthy enough to be the guy, which I think he is, he gets way more reps, and we see a lot more run game. Because to beat Baylor, he has to be involved in the run game.
Feels like Utah or Arizona State game,
right?
Where you have to have that element to win. And obviously, you got to take care of the ball. But we're talking about
turnovers are going to kill you no matter who you're going to play, right? And so you can't turn it over 3 times. You can't not score when you have first and goal on the 3. There's a bunch of things we go back and look at. It wasn't because Jaron wasn't running the ball. BYU was good enough. They're better than Boise State.
Yes.
Physically. If we just go pure talent-wise, BYU is better. They weren't better on the field on Saturday.
They did not play better.
They didn't play better, right? So the better team was Boise State Saturday. But BYU's more talented than Boise State is right now. And they probably could have been -2 and won that game. They can't be -4 and then fumble the ball on the 10 going in and turn it over twice inside the 24.
You can't be -4 and beat Arizona, Blaine.
Right.
You can't beat South Florida.
No, absolutely. You're exactly right. You can't be So now we're talking Baylor, who we've just established a really good football team. So the margin for error is not there against Baylor. You have to play like you played against the 3 P5s you've played.
Yes.
And that includes him being involved in the run game. If he can't do that, then you've got issues. And now remember, last week, Baylor Romney is also out, not cleared to play. If he's cleared to play this week, then you're not so concerned about involving. So say Jaron even starts, you got to go, we got to get him involved in the run game. That's how you win a football game, right? He's got to be more aggressive with what he's doing out there. But in the back of your mind, you're going, and if he gets nicked up or if he's got to come out, there's Baylor.
Yeah.
Last week, you can understand a little hesitancy because they're like, they trust Jacob, but Jacob's a freshman, right? And freshmen, you worry about them handling the moment and turning the ball over. With Baylor, you have no worries whatsoever with that. Like, you could start Baylor and not worry at all, which they've done multiple times.
Maybe Baylor's the key to this week.
So having Baylor back, whether it's Jaron that starts and can be way more aggressive, or if he's not 100% healthy and they get Baylor back, because Baylor is better than Jaron when he's not 100% healthy. I think everybody realizes that, including Jaron, right?
Because BYU's playing Baylor, you have to specify Romney or the team.
Right. Let's just call him Romney. We call him BR, right? Sure. So if BR is 100% healthy, it not only changes, it changes what you can do with Jaron.
Yeah.
Because there's no worry about what you do at that position if he gets nicked up a little bit, or if the ribs start to bother him or something like that. So that changes the game. I'm also really hopeful they get Mason Wake back.
Man, he makes a huge difference for Tyler Algier.
And was it you that tweeted that? So Spencer, you tweeted. You and I were talking about it Saturday. In the downhill run game, he's huge. And he's the only guy on the team. Teams don't have fullbacks very often anymore. That type of player is rare, where he's 6'1", and 255 pounds, and he's a road grader, knocks people off the ball. You can hand them the ball in short yardage. It changes who BYU is in short yardage. So they're going to need to convert on some short yardage plays this week. And boy, oh boy, would it be nice to have Mason Wake back. So let's see if Mason makes a comeback.
Yes.
You get Jaron healthy, Baylor healthy. You get Mason Wake back. And how about getting Harris LaChance back, too, which I think you will see him back at tackle.
Okay.
He's a mauler at right tackle. When you're trying to run downhill to the right side, he's going to knock people off the ball. And so there's 3 people that, if they're healthy, make a huge difference in the attack that BYU has offensively. So let's watch for that this week in practice. If they get all 3 of those guys back, I feel way better about the game.
Okay.
Outstanding stuff from Blaine Fowler. You can catch him on After Further Review tonight. You're going to bring the same passion in After Further Review.
We're ready to go. I'm ready. If Baylor's not cleared, if BR's not cleared,
16.
I'm playing
number
this week.
16.
I can slip into 16,
yes.
and nobody will notice. Nobody will notice.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thanks, Blaine.
Okay, coming